By the time I entered college, I was only going when it was for one of my nephews or my niece. When I met the man who would later become my husband, he also had issues with organized religion, but he was a youth counselor for a while at his church and was very close to his minister. So when we got engaged, he wanted to be married by that childhood pastor. I was okay with this, as the last thing I wanted was some man who had never been married telling me I had to obey my husband. We did do premarital counseling with his pastor, Nancy Moore, and in my eyes, I am married in the eyes of God, no matter what the Catholic Church might say. At some point during our engagement, I told my husband, I missed going to church. Do I have to go with you, he asked. No, I told him. Then you should go, he said. But I still had issues with the message of the Catholic Church. Love thy neighbor as long as they are Christian and straight. So I still didn't go. My husband and I got married by Reverend Moore, and we started trying for a baby. Then my dad died. I spent a month existing on broccoli and cavadil, brownies, and vodka. Then my husband was diagnosed with hypertension. We disagree on this slightly, but in the hospital, I swear his blood pressure was 200 and something over 100 and something. I was hyperventilating, thinking he was going to have a stroke. Spoiler alert, he did not. I was spending 3 days a week at my mother's at this point. Without my father, she had stopped sleeping. Every night when the sun went down, she closed the blinds, locked all the doors, and sat up until dawn, jumping at every noise, calling my sister and brother-in-law in the middle of the night, thinking someone was outside the house. So I would spend 2 or 3 nights a week there. My brother would take the other 2, and my sister's kids would stay with grandma every weekend. Then my dear friend Debbie died. She was diagnosed with cancer in May and gone by July. I told my family, I can't spend 2, 3 nights a week with mom anymore. When my brother was there, he brought his dog with him. My sister had her family in the same town. I was leaving my support system every Tuesday and not seeing him again until Thursday or Friday night. My sister said, it's not forever. Mommy needs us. I shouldn't be selfish. My brother took the extra days to keep the peace. He ended up just selling his townhouse and moving in with mom. Then I found out why my sister was trying to push me to step up more. She and her husband were splitting up. He had been in my life since I was 5. They started dating when I was 11. They got married when I was 16. She hadn't wanted to ruin my relationship with him, so even though I was in my 30s by then, she never told me they were having problems. Shock after shock kept rolling in, change after change, and I still wasn't pregnant. Somewhere in all of that, my cousin got married. We met her fiance at my father's funeral. He was in seminary studying to be an Episcopal priest. See, there was a point to the story. He was very kind and funny. The wedding at his church was beautiful, the ceremony was familiar, and the message was inclusive. I said to my husband again, I think I want to go back to church, but I think I want to try an Episcopal church. Maybe try to find one with a female priest. He said, I think it's a great idea for kids to have a moral base through a good church, and I think you should do it. A Google search later, I found St. James and Reverend Melissa and Reverend Audrey. I started attending 8:15 service. I still call it Mass in my head. I left my name and number. Reverend Audrey called me and we talked about my life, my dad, and I still wasn't pregnant. I kept coming. Things got a little quieter in life. My mom and brother were in a good place living together. I saw my doctor and started some medication. My sister finalized her divorce. They upped my medication. I still wasn't pregnant. We went to a specialist. Then I got pregnant. Then I wasn't. I missed a couple of 8:15s. Reverend Melissa called me. What do you need? She asked. What can we do? We're here for you. We're praying for you. I went back to the 8:15. I like the 8:15. It's quiet in the 8:15. It's not crowded. I sit in the pew and my mind slows down and I feel like I can breathe. I finally got pregnant, and I missed a few 8:15s. Reverend Audrey this time, what's the matter? And the floodgates just opened. I am so tired. I am sick all the time. The doctors are worried about my numbers. I don't know what to do. Just breathe, she said, and let's pray. When I was able to move, I went back to the 8:15. The people there recognized me now, and I was one of them. They asked me how I felt. They were happy about my upcoming baby. I could breathe. I had my first son. He came with me to the 8:15, and he was baptized right here. Reverend Audrey kept calling, "Are you okay? Do you need anything? How's the baby?" Eventually, I had my second son, and I was sick the whole time again. He also was baptized right here. Then the pandemic happened. You know what Zoom church is not? It's not quiet. A 1-year-old and a 4-year-old are not quiet, and they do not want to let you watch your phone. I had to leave my job for the safety of my 1-year-old. I had never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I told Reverend Audrey. I feel like I'm losing myself. Who am I? I can't breathe. Are you writing? She asked. Who has that kind of time? I said. The pandemic ended. I got a new job, and my boys are old enough for Sunday school. So we come to the 10:15. Reverend Melissa told me, that is your job. That is what you do. Do not volunteer for anything else. You bring those boys, and that is it. So I go to the store, and I buy stuff for the pantry. When I see a friend from 8:15, they ask after the boys. And you are all wonderful. And the choir is really amazing. Really, you guys are fantastic. But I miss the 8:15 and the quiet and just being able to breathe. But I keep coming, and I volunteer to do the readings. And my husband comes when the boys need to have something going on, or for my first reading, or today, because I'm doing this. And I've come to realize that here at St. James, I am quiet, and I sit in the back, and I keep to myself, and I am still seen. So now, instead of asking me about my boys, or how I'm feeling, or what's going on, Reverend Audrey asks me, have you been writing? And I know the undertone. Are you taking time for yourself? So this week, I can tell you, Reverend, yes, I have been writing. And it is at least in part because of the support I've received here at St. James.